Hi.
Hi, guys. Another episode of the Riders DNA. Why we ride. As you know, this episode is always unscripted. We wing it. Everything's on the fly. Anything goes. Everything's open. Nothing's off the table. So I am going to throw this open to Praveen to give us a quick introduction about himself, and we'll take it from there. So Praveen, over to you.
I've been a biker, I think, I started riding at the age of 16 and I started being seriously motorcycle probably at age 18. So from 1996, 98, I've been riding. So I've been riding, for at least 25 years now. And into hardcore motorcycling between 2004, I was into racing as well. And then totally eased on, trying to concentrate more on my profession.
But we want to know more about what's off the records. I mean, right, what's behind the biker. But a little bit interesting. Tell me about racing. So what kind of racing?
Yeah, this is more into circuit racing. So in
Nice.
MMRT and in Coimbatore, I did a lot of circuit racing, yes, and a lot of drag events as well.
Right.
In Bangalore and in and around Bangalore.
And you are based in Bangalore,
Yeah, I think from 1992 I've been in Bangalore.
but you've been all over the place. You are an army brat, as they call them.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
So, what is your profession?
I'm an IT professional currently working at Microsoft.
So Microsoft, very structured, discipline, and how does that kind of match up with riding styles, and so on and so forth? We were speaking a little while ago,
Yes.
and I kind of got a feel of what your nature is. So maybe you want to touch upon, how kind of this blends, whether it's a release from, let's say, a structured environment, being on the bike. What does it mean to you to be on a bike?
Well, I think it means everything is like how a person breathes, you live. So biking is not one mainstay for me. It is a part of me. The way I talk, the way I live, even the way I dress up, I want to be a biker. So that's how my photo is about now. It's always, and I've always preferred riding bikes compared to driving cars as well, because there's some liberation there. Something, the wind hitting your face, you're experiencing nature without a filter, I would say, in a car. So this is, you're breathing the elements as well. So it's all the five elements that you feel when you're on a bike. Machine, when how it roars, the vibration of the machine, the nature, all of it. So
This is something that, almost all bikers do say, experiencing that freedom. But then freedom always, A, comes at a cost.
yeah,
Or then you do a few things to make sure that that freedom is within control. It's like, to put it in a contradictory manner, the regulative principles of freedom.
it's not about freedom. It can be freedom. It can be expression. It can be how you want to look at the world or how the world wants to pursue you as well. So it's a mix of everything. For me, eventually, it's not a mandate that I have to be on a bike. I have to portray myself always as a biker. No, you are a person and you live up the moments, you enjoy moments on the bike, off the bike, but you always want to be on a bike as a biker. So that want is always there.
So you've done some very epic riding. And one of them actually is a record, if I'm not mistaken.
True, yes.
And for this part of the segment, I want your partner for that record in the frame as well. Sameera is somebody we met. So this is Sameera. So they are the partners in crime. They did this crazy ass ride and got a record for it. And I'd like both of you to talk us through what, why, when, how, low down and dirty. I saw some of the clips which are pretty hairy, completely blew my mind. So tell us about this phenomenal achievement.
So I think Sam always wanted to do an all India ride. He was spent 3-6 months enjoying across India. He wanted to experience India, and she wanted to take her own sweet time, do it in 6 months. He said, yeah, we can do all India, but let's do fastest. So we decided, let's do fastest all India. And, experience India in a crowded foot. And I lived through the entire moment in 24 hours. That's the feeling I always carry. That's the exact words that you tell me.
Give me stats. How many kilometers, how many states, how many cities?
So this was 28 states, its capitals, 6 UTs, and 200 plus major cities. So we did that in 24 days, covering 16,325 kilometers.
So how did it work? The record, how did it work? You kind of set an agenda and you said, this is what we're going to achieve, or was it dictated by somebody else? Or is that something that you came up with?
No, so Rimka Book of Records very clearly had, we need to go to every state, its capital, and 6 UTs, and the 200 major cities. So that needs to be documented. You need photo evidence, cash withdrawal, fuel slips, all of those, and hotels where you stay as well, including the stamps from the hotel. It's not the hotel bill.
That you actually checked in there.
Absolutely.
How many kilometers did you say?
16,325.
All the states of India
All the states.
within a month, within
24 days.
24 days. Wow, that is an achievement. How many hours a day were you guys riding?
On an average, if you just calculate the max, it's 7 kilometers on average, but we're doing a saddle time of 12 to 18 hours a day, minimum.
But I think apart from just the record, I think just seeing the length and breadth of India must have been. Did you actually have time to observe India, or were you just on the road at speed?
So the idea of this ride came when we did 5 years of exploration together. As a couple, you are seeing this is because of motorcycling. And when we started going around together, our first ride was a long expedition of 4,500 kilometers in 9 days. So that was the benchmark we started from the start. And when we attempted this and successfully completed, by the time we have already covered 85 to 90% of India as an exploring perspective.
Wow.
So we were very, very clear about the idea that where we are going to, what kind of roads we are going to face. But what we experienced was surprises. There were lots of surprises. And the challenge was not that we wanted to cover it. I wanted to enjoy, but I felt a very different force from Praveen. He's been a very, very calm, composed when we two do riding together.
Right.
Because he has to teach me something, he has to bring something more from me. And for me, it's always challenging. When it came to All India fastest, I felt that the character flipped. I was more calm and he was more aggressive.
You saw his aggression?
Yes, I saw his aggression at times when I had to say that no, I think we should slow down, we should, laugh. And we were not talking about it at all. Those 24 days, whatsoever we spoke to each other was through the communicator.
On mission, that's it.
On machine. And there were some very funny moments, there were fighting moments, there were times when we had our incidents and accidents on road, which was also been how we holded each other. He's been holding up in certain points where I was backing off because we were riding in times when we
carry each other.
We have to carry each other. An unpredictable situation like got a smoke for 100 kilometers suddenly in Bihar at night around 9:30. So normally people say don't go to these regions in the night because it's very scary. I would say that was in our mind, but we were together. So two of us, when we were riding, we had a friend who was mapping us when we were riding, and he was surprised that entire 24 days we were just together. There was not even a single time when one of us was left out. He told us that you should apply a record of being together, two bikers on 24 days for entire India.
Two people.
Yes.
He was tracking us, we were all be together.
100 feet apart.
Yeah.
100 feet
apart. So even if we were like 20 or we were riding in 120, we were just together.
So tell me one fight that you guys had.
No, I'm going back. Done. It was on our way back to Bhopal to Nagpur, and my bike's shock absorber start damping. He saw from the behind. He said, "Your bike is going too down," and I was too focused on the road, and I'm like, "Please don't disturb me, yaar. Please, let's focus. Let's go. Because we used to have a target." And he is like, "No, we have to stop in Bhopal, in Nagpur, and we have to get it rectified." I said, "We don't have time. I don't want to waste time. We already wasted time a lot. No, we have to make it."
Cracking the whip.
We were not having any backup. Right? We were completely
solo, no support.
No support, nothing.
Had a few essential backup
spares.
Yeah. That's about it, but not the suspension kit and stuff.
So I had to believe what he was saying because he is the person behind running the show.
Right.
In terms of make sure that our bikes are on spot. More than a rider, the bike has to go because it was a very integral part of our ride. And he said, "No, this has to be done." I said, "No, I don't want to do." Suddenly he just stopped. And the moment he stopped, I knew that I did a blunder. I did a blunder and I didn't know how to get...
No, you pressed the wrong button.
I pressed the wrong button and he said, "Okay, the ride is over." And I was like, "Okay, sorry, Praveen, I didn't mean that." He said, "You have to listen to me. We have to complete it. We have seen so much of hardship in that last 20 days. Don't mess up that."
This was the last leg.
Yeah, that was the last
week or so.
Yeah, this is entering South India.
That was our major fight on this ride. But we have craziest fights as well.
Yeah, for me, it was any issue with the bike, you stop there, you fix it, and then move on.
Is that the techie in you, or is that the person?
That's the person.
That's the person. Okay, all right.
So I want my bike to be flawless.
Correct.
When I'm riding it, otherwise I will not ride. So it has to be the way I want it to be.
So I think you're a little bit like me. One beat off,
yes,
and I said no.
Something's off.
Yeah. tire pressure low, so get it fixed. So, yeah, I know.
At least
I
you know
where
what
you're
the
coming
issue is, then you can kind of work
Correct.
around it and
Correct.
then
You
proceed.
can manage. She's the more gung ho person. I've seen her riding the last time. Where Muck was there, this woman just flying through it. I've seen her riding style. Very super impressed.
And if you are wearing good gears that protect your body as well, nothing like it. So I would say at least a helmet, very basic, a riding jacket, and riding pants, and shoes. Yes, at least the basic shoe is very important from a riding perspective. When you're doing long tourings or stuff like the city, yes, helmet is mandatory. It's good enough. But yeah, safety is there for a reason, to protect you and your life. And, so monitoring about it as well. So that's what it's called. Right. So I would say riding gears, unfortunately, I've tried a few Indian brands, never worked. Foreign brands have worked, they're expensive, but they last you that time and they're very comfortable. They feel a part of you. They might be a little more heavy compared to what the Indian brands offer, but yeah, it's similar to the helmet. You have Indian brand helmets. Unfortunately, they're not sharp rated or whatever. I mean, that's how it is. I would say openly that at least in India, subcontinent, we never speak about health and safety or fire and safety. It's not taught in school, not in college. It's never gained proceedings. It's always, oh, look, it's okay, it's okay. But, I would say that's the wrong way. Go for the right gears. You need to spend, right? They say you need to spend 20-30% of your motorcycle's cost on the gears.
Are you serious? Wow.
Because helmet, good safety, nice helmet, you're not going to come cheap. It's going to cost you bare minimum 30,000. And upwards, you want a fancy one.
Right.
So in India, again, helmets are there now. I think Tempe and others, they have got sharp rated helmets at maybe 10-15,000. So yeah, that is gone down. Good gear, again, I would say, which is not very fancy. A good pants will cost you 15,000-20,000.
Yes.
Nothing less. A jacket, 25,000 rupees. So you would easily spend about $1.5 lakh. And if you look at that cost, you get a small motorcycle in India.
Correct.
But unfortunately, that's how it is. So if you're very passionate about it, I would say try at least get a good helmet, which is has a good rating. C5, C6 or sharp rating. I always go to sharp. Yeah, so I love Revit. Yeah, I'm spoiled by today. I prefer over a Dainese or Alpine Star because they make all the products and some of their stuff is very, very stupidly expensive, like the riding shoes I looked up. In India, the landing cost is about 95,000. So even the Sand 4 riding gear is brilliant. Revit is a great brand. So is Dainese, Scorpion. So all the major big brands that you see, they are good. They invest a lot of money into the R&D, and not like they made a helmet. So they have a lot of R&D that goes.
No chalega.
Yeah, absolutely.
You learn the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, we don't listen to people.
So I think with a lot of motorcycling, if you look at off-road motorcycling, they have a bionic armor data.
Yeah.
So you can wear their armor, which is very comfortable, and you wear something over it as well. So there's good protection. And it's a one-time investment. Whatever you're going to wear over it will take the damage and hit. That will remain there. So yeah, you have a lot of options today.
What's your dream bike?
It's the PGM.
What the hell is a PGM?
PGM is a small company in Australia. So what they've been able to do is get two R1 engines and put it together. So you've got a 2-liter V8 engine.
Oh,
and that bike is nuts.
Torque?
It's got about
the charts.
Yeah, it's about 340 bhp restricted bike, and yeah, the torque is because it's a crossplane, two crossplane engines put together.
Not street legal, obviously.
No, it's street.
It is street legal.
Yes, that's the reason the power is down to 3.
Oh, okay.
So that's insane. I think it will cost you $1 million. I can't afford it.
Okay.
It's a dream. Yeah.
It's a dream. That's why it's a dream bike.
Yeah. It's put together really proud because you see a lot of these big bike engines, they don't look like a bike. You put a big V8 engine into it and the bike or Dodge, right? It's not rideable. So for me, it has to be practically able to take it where you want, in most of the places. Right. And this is a very, very practical bike. It's a custom-made chassis. It looks like a bike, feels like a bike. It's not too bulky. It's not insanely heavy. It's still about 250 kilos.
That's
So,
not that kind of power.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Let's switch a little bit. Let's talk about women empowerment. And I think you're eminently qualified to speak about it. So talk about women empowerment in general and then women empowerment as far as biking is concerned. What kind of support do they get? Do they not get? What do you think can be done better to encourage? What are your thoughts on this? And obviously you've done something about it. You can share that as well if you like.
Definitely, absolutely. I'll take a step back before we reach women empowerment. So I would say every person requires a support system. Because I was born in a very open family, so there was no classification of you're a male, you're a female, like that. There was no differentiation there. I was not treated especially because I was a boy. So that's how my family was. Right? Everybody used to be no preference in terms of gender. From a very young age, so there's no difference for me. So as a man, you always want to be a righteous person, giving preference to the other gender because they're not equals in terms of strength or preference, So yeah, you don't want a woman carrying kilos and climbing a mountain, and you can do it easily without causing much. So that kind of righteousness, yes, to the gender, giving them preference because they've been underprivileged,
But not holding it against.
not holding against them. So it's like a support system. I went back, right? So giving that support system is very important. If somebody's physically challenged, you give them that support system, right? You don't want
regardless whether it's a man or a woman.
Yes, you don't want waiting in a queue. It's got 100 people there. You would give them the first preference.
Right.
So that support system is where I'm going back to. So it can be a man or a woman or being given a support system so that they get job opportunities, equal opportunity, equal rights like other people are getting. So I think that was that's how I've been brought up. And Sam came into my life where she was very interested in biking. She was very new to it. We met on a ride. She rode a Royal Enfield, sitting straight right up. I said, "What do you want to do right now?" "No, I want to explore, but why this bike? What's the thought process behind it?" So everything that I've been through, I just put her through her mind as well.
Right.
I found Sameera, but she had that craving. She definitely was not born as a biker, or when she bought up the first bike, she never felt like a biker. But she eventually, 4 or 5 years later, today she does everything on bike. She's an old school biker, right? So I would say learn to ride the bike, choose the bike, build up your skill. Today's generation is about posting. You're not right well, you don't know about bikes. Know the machine to understand how it works, what it doesn't combustion engines, what is liquid cooled, what is air cooled, what is water cooled. So it's really important because you're going to be riding, you're going to be exploring it. So it's good that you understand the mechanism. Basically, be thorough about what you're doing and then go ahead and do it. Basically, Sameera was to help her understand that aspect. She eventually got that. And she understood what the bike is, how each bike is different. KTM is a more road bike, it's going fast. X-Pulse, off-roading. So eventually, she's able to choose her own bike. And me trying to say, okay, go with this ride because I have it.
Because you have it or because you recommend it.
Yeah. So that's how it is. And then it was up to her. So she picked up the riding aspect of it. She wants to train more than today than I want to. So her plan is every weekend, at least I want to train. So 3 to 4 times in a weekend, I want to go to the dirt track, do this. I said, yeah, choice is yours. You should do it.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, that support is very important. And for women riders, I would say it's inevitably available in all cities today. Right? So you choose it as a passion by yourself without any social stress or stress from your friends or those. Absolutely. Go for it. It doesn't have to be like, so whatever.
Be anything.
Anything. Whatever your passion drives, go for it.
What's the next big ride you're planning?
You always want to do an international trip. So yes, it's there in the back of the mind. I think the planning will take very less time, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just about execution. So yeah, so hopefully if we're able to get the funds or get the sponsorship.
Right.
Yeah, because international trips are going to be pretty expensive.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
But when you say international, where are you thinking?
So there is a longest connecting road right from South Africa all the way to Russia. Wow, that's the longest connecting single road. Yeah. So you want to do that, and I've always wanted to ride across Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah, and South America, North America as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, literally the whole world. But yeah, Africa is very, very challenging. There are a lot of reservations when I went there the first time.
Right.
Now after going there and meeting the people there, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Very different.
This is lifestyle in Africa. Absolutely, yeah. It's brilliant. So definitely want to explore all of Africa. I don't want a single country or a single state there. So definitely. So yeah, definitely hoping for a good international ride. So nothing planned as of now, but we have a couple of routes in mind.
Who leads the rides? I mean, who plans where to go next? Is it you? Is it Sameera? Or is it both of you? Joint effort or?
It used to be me. Today it is, I think, any of us can plan. Because it's once you have that outlook for experience, I told you she writes much more than I was.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, not one person. It's a team effort to do. So I would say bike is a very individual thing. It's like any other passion that you pick up. It can be cooking, it can be drawing, anything. So explore it, live it. It's very important that it's not only about social media. Biking is a very personal thing. It's about you as a person and how you connect to anything that you're really doing, any of your hobby or passion. So if it's not there, then just doing it on social media, like a lot of people do. They have millions of followers today,
Right.
but there are a lot of bikes, but they're not a bike. There are actually a lot of people that, and a lot of people focus and follow that trend, which doesn't make sense for me. It's choice you want to do it, but I would say it's a very personal thing.
But it's done a lot in terms of making it popular.
See, they post a lot of choppy videos, people doing stupid things in the bike. I do go stupidly fast. I can do what you're doing, but it's pointless. You're not doing it to feel something. Just
you're trying to prove it.
Yeah, just like any other passion, it will not be recognized and respected for a long period of time. You're not.
You're trying to do sensational stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I met Sameera, was introduced to a very dear common friend. So when I met Sameera, I kind of got a very strong feel of not only did she want to do what she was doing, but she wanted to kind of go somewhere. Probably be very recognized, be famous. What are your thoughts? That's my impression. What are your thoughts as a husband or a partner or a better half?
Yeah, she definitely wants to be recognized. I would say getting recognition overnight, it's like a superstar experience. You do one movie hit and then everything else goes down. So it's a do it organically. You set up, what do you say, challenges or what do you say, achievements for yourself and do it one after the other. It's like you reach the sky and you sky down, you skydive, just come down. That's one experience over it. But when you build a career or profession, it has to be step by step. That's how it's been. Otherwise, there are startups that's a single hit, it dies down. There are a lot of examples. I won't take names, but correct. People who look at big corporations, right? Like name it IT or any other corporation, they build products. It's not like a one-time hit and gone. Right? So yeah, I would say same here as well. There are a lot of emotions, a lot of life, and you involve physically, mentally, financially into it as well. So it means a lot. So you build it organically and at the right pace you want because you can get it there, but you're not able to carry it. So for you to go there as with everything that you are today, it's going to be.
I know he said a lot of things which are very profound and meaningful to the people who really understand the import of what he said in terms of empowerment, in terms of equality, and not just being about gender or being righteous, especially. That's a word that he used. I want your take. You spoke very eloquently about what we did for you when we met.
Yes.
And I think it would be a very nice wrap for you to speak about this one easier.
I always say this. ये मेरे लिए बहुत important है because who you see right now in front of the camera, talking about the journey and being so outspoken, loud, and positive is because of the good support system I got. I never wanted to do a static job laptop. I was being in my zone to try to come out and do something outdoor, like very loud. And I did not understand that when I'm picking up something and trying to give everything over it, then I should have a plan. And my intentions behind was very very pure when I started biking, but because of the kind of surroundings I was not getting the right way of moving. For me, as an individual, I always looked for a good support system, and I was trying to be on my own solo, this, that. I didn't even know the meaning. But the way I started my growth, I would say I was being very fortunate that I met Praveen in a very early stage of biking. And I had a lot of enthusiasm. I had a lot of, impulsive, a lot of energy. But I knew it that I wanted to do something really out of the box. And what that I didn't know. I did a couple of rides which was definitely out of my comfort zone, and that time I was not using Instagram and all of it to share the story what happened. But what happened was very very close to me and gave me a lot of lessons. But a path, someone has to show you the path. I was full stubborn. I was very very sure that yes, I wanted to do this, but उसमें करना क्या?
I did call you this.
Eat एकदम.
It's like a craving, right? When you're when you have a kid, when you're born, right? You got to guide them in the right way.
Correct.
Eat food or discipline or whatever it is, right? So if you put them in a cage, they get very aggressive. Same with human beings. If you're tied down and not allowed to experience the right way, right? When you get that opportunity, you're always going to win, right? If you're introduced,
Basic psychology.
if you're introduced to have a girlfriend or have a drink or experience anything the right way, it'll never be abused.
Correct.
So, people start abusing the system or yourself or the freedom that you're given, that's when you lose track.
तो मतलब मैं तो ठीक थी इसके बाद दिमाग I think that is
No,
the
I
best
think
combination.
no. So what impressed me, to be honest, what impressed me is that the fact that you spoke very openly about it. You mentioned it very brief, but I could read between the lines. So which is why and I've been after you. So when do I get to meet it?
Yeah.
Because the way she spoke to you, like, probably 2 or 3 sentences, not more. I said no. There's somebody here that is worth kind of.
Sumir, for me, because this it is my journey, right? But I would not say that it's completely me. We learn, we grow, we become something, not just because our single effort.
For a lot of therapists, the general feeling is that when couples do certain activities together, they get closer together. That's one side of the coin.
Yeah.
The other side of the coin is couples need their space and their time. So talk about that. So obviously this is something we both love, so that's kind of bringing you together, but does it lead to a situation where you don't have that space or that individuality?
So she does a lot of rides that she wants
on her own.
On her own. So I usually don't stop unless it is something really unnecessary that I feel it is, but she wants to push and do it, I say go ahead and do it. So I don't say a big no for it, but I'd say try talk
caution.
Yeah,
caution.
It doesn't.
So you have biking as the common bond, but you still have your separate.
I think it's very, very important to give space individually, be it husband, wife, or anything, right? So you need that. Like, I've got my dogs, you can't get them and keep them on leash. Correct. They won't explore on their own.
Correct.
And they realize it. And being a human, your brain is not like a dog's brain. It's much more developed than it. So you want to experience a lot of things that you want. So I'd say go ahead and do it.
Nice.
I think अगर space नहीं होगा तो relationship का healthiness खत्म होना शुरू हो जाता है. And it also it starts showing in your actions and your state of mind. So if I chose a profession which is a very unconventional profession of doing something in motorcycling, and I think he was the only one who didn't say anything to me except saying it that you will gonna take time, you will not earn so much what you are getting it, but if that is satisfying you, go for it. If you're not learning out of anything, you're wasting your time, your energy, you could have better picked it up something else and do it. And I think because of that reason, I feel we understand this spacing part. Sometimes I would say that he adjusts the most compared to me, very honestly, because I think 90% of rides, 10% ride is what we do together. In a year, which is our bonding ride every year. But apart from that, every month I'm doing something, but this guy is patiently looking at me and saying it, tu hi kar le. Because he doesn't, I can do 10 things, but he would not like to do those 10 things. So that is his space.
Correct.
We started making the space so healthy that he can say that straight away on my face that Sameera, this is not my cup of tea. Tu jaake kar. But sometimes I want him to see me. Correct. So I push it. But this is not other way around. मुझे कभी-कभी ऐसा लगता है कि I tell him, Praveen, just go. Take the bike, go, don't come for 4-5 days. Now I'm mature enough to take care of myself, dogs, correct, and that space.
Correct.
But I think that's the maturity. What I feel that spacing is not that मैं आज famous हो जाऊंगी तो कल तू famous हो जाएगा.
Understanding, trust, all of that.
If no one, he took that fame thing also out of me.
Right.
He told me that the similar thing what he mentioned it to you, that do something which bring back something home, right? Don't go spread it out, and people will say wah wah to you.
Because the attention is very fleeting. Tomorrow there's another big thing that comes along.
I would feel there is energy that and giving away energy and getting negative energy from it.
Correct.
Doesn't make sense.
And yes, when you are in the public eye, you're attracting a lot of negative energy. That's very true. Very true.
I'm not saying it's that energy won't affect you or something bad is going to happen, but it's going to be training you.
Yes.
Your focus, your attention, what you want to do, how do you want to do things, right?
When you are in the speed of it.
Yeah. So in the right state of mind, you're rightly calm, you'll be able to approach it the way you want.
Correct. Get a lot more out. Yeah. This has been fantastic. I'm really pleased to have met you. And I think this has been time well spent. I think you made some very relevant points. And thank you, Sameera, for facilitating in spite of my bad. Anyway, it's a wrap. Take care.
Take care.
Hey,
Bye.
guys.